Let's do this sound of God, it literally won't stick in my mind. Sound of freedom.
Of course it won't stick in your mind, Emma. You're a communist.
You're right. My mind rejects notions of freedom. I also clearly can't understand the persecution that conservatives are dealing with right now in this country. I mean, let's just first watch the trailer for this revolutionary film that they just don't want to show you, okay? But we're going to show it to you because we're a news organization. We take this very seriously. This is the movie Sound of Freedom in theaters that apparently the deep state, the globalists, you know what we mean when we say globalists, so true, they are trying to prevent you from seeing this. So we'll at least give you a preview, and then we'll hear from some of the conservatives who are victims of the shadow banning in real life of this important piece of work.
So Caviezel did Passion of the Christ, I guess.
Yeah, this is the Passion of the Christ guy, Mel Gibson's friend.
Giving a child his freedom.
He's still on that cross, apparently.
Does this implicate Border Patrol?
You have been at this for 12
I can't imagine that it does.
My country
This is my favorite part, yeah.
Why are you doing it?
Because God's children are not for sale. It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
For Homeland Security, you know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces. And this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
And yet somehow you have failed to bring me one real-world lead.
It's over, Tim. Close up and come back home.
So you quit your job.
Mira Sorvino.
And you go and rescue those kids.
Wait, why is she doing this? All right, so we get a sense it's about QAnon adjacent kind of conspiracy theories. Oh no, we lost Brandon. This is where is he?
I'm not sure why he's not.
No, he's
showing up
here.
right now.
He's
we
here.
might need you to jump off and jump back on. Yeah.
All right. Well,
this might be the deep state, just
yeah,
like
interesting
the deep
that
state
we're watching
out those movie theaters.
Exactly.
And turned off the AC. They are trying to stop us from talking about this movie.
I know.
Brandon's
voice.
To raise any attention to this, put any attention on this movie, whether it be a criticism or not. Just don't talk about Sound of Freedom. That's what the message is here.
I mean, this is why we're hauling Lena Khan in front of the House Oversight Committee today, the Judiciary Committee today, right? First she goes for Elon Musk. I wouldn't be shocked if this Biden administration official has something to do with shadow banning this film. All right, we're gonna get him back in a sec. Oh, there he is. There he is. But Binder just teased this. This is one of the experiences of someone who tried to go see this film in theaters, just to give you an example of some of the repression that conservatives are experiencing as they try to patronize the film that's going after the child traffickers.
So my fiance and I just watched the movie Sound of Freedom that exposes sex traffickers. And do you want to tell them what happened in the movie theater?
All right, AMC, I don't know what's going on here, but first off, the AC was out like when we went to watch the movie, and I'd seen someone else post something too that also saw it at an AMC, and their AC was out. And like as soon as we walked into the theater, it was hot as heck.
I literally brought a sweatshirt and I was like sweating.
And then we realized it took us a while to actually realize it, but they didn't turn the lights off.
They literally had the lights on.
They kept the lights on the entire movie.
Who does that? They don't want you to see this movie.
They were trying to make it like not enjoyable.
No.
They were trying to make it unenjoyable.
What do they think? We're just going to be like, oh, the lights are on, we're going to leave.
No.
Like, no.
Just tell
Go
someone.
watch Sound of Freedom in
Can I
theaters.
just say, there are better ways to let people not watch this movie, which would be like not carrying it.
Not putting it in theaters. I know, but that would be a little bit too on the nose. You've got to just like trickle it out and then make it. I mean, the conservatives are literally being waterboarded as they watch this film.
I remember when Revenge of the Sith came out, and I went to the movies midnight for the premiere showing of it. And the second Darth Vader is supposed to appear on screen for the first time, Anakin becomes Darth Vader, the screen went black and people started screaming and running to get the AMC people because something went wrong. And it was very clear to me at that time what was going on. And it was very clear that the Rebel Alliance did not want you sympathizing with Darth Vader as he finds out that Padme is dead. Very clear to me. I knew it right away.
Obviously. I mean, there's no air conditioning right now in our studio. We're struggling with the AC being broken. When did Sound of Sound of Freedom come out?
July 4th.
It did.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to be honest with you. After July 4th, we came back into the studio here, and the air conditioning wasn't working.
Weird how that works.
It's kind of weird how that works. It kind of is.
I think it's really funny and really telling of the conservative persecution complex that they would all just sit there quietly in a bright movie theater, suffering through a movie in order to just no one get up and go tell someone, because that's happened to me before, like where they forget to turn the lights off in the movie theater and someone has to get up and go, okay, I'll go do it. And they go, thanks. And they go get the person, they start the movie over. But they
that's because they don't have a collectivist mindset. They're individualistic, and they just didn't think to think of the other people and go to and take one for the team to help out the whole in the movie-going experience. Although I doubt that there was anyone except those two in the theater, or that any of the things that they said in this TikTok even really happened. So,
well, see, that's the thing. It's actually a double conspiracy, or maybe a triple conspiracy, because what I found out after watching this and then looking at the tweet that you might go on to show is that currently the Wall Street Bets Reddit is trying to do some sort of, I don't know, I guess it's not illegal to call something a scheme, but like some sort of scheme involving the AMC stock that was similar to the GameStop stock sort of thing that happened a few years ago.
No, they did that with AMC too, I think.
Yeah,
right?
So
what is old is new again? Yeah.
So they're doing this again, and they think that these videos are actually a double psyop to make people, to lower the price of AMC stock to help, as they put it, short in distort. You can't see me doing air quotes over here. Short in distort ANC stock. So, a lot's going on in America right now. You can't believe what you see or hear.
Well, I mean, speak to the actual concern being exploited here, which is that children are being trafficked for purposes, and there's some sort of conspiracy about it. To name two instances that Republican voters might be interested in, all these child labor laws are basically for migrant children, so that they can go get slaughtered, put their fingers into slaughterhouse machines and clean them, at 4 a.m. And I would also recommend people look up a guy named Anthony Tony Lazaro, a Republican donor convicted of sex trafficking teenage girls. This was Tony Lazaro, who was incidentally Tucker Carlson's source for the Ilhan Omar married her brother claim. What? But now he's in jail because it turns out he and a woman, a 19-year-old woman who used to run the College Republicans at St. Thomas University was it St. Thomas or St. Cloud? One of the universities, I think St. Thomas. St. Thomas College Republican. His co-defendant, 21-year-old Gisela Castro Medina, who formerly led the University of St. Thomas's College Republican chapter, pleaded guilty to 2 counts last year. And by the way, these are 6 victims under the age of 18. She testified against Lazaro. Prosecutors argued that during the trial, Lazaro enlisted Medina, who initially paid for sex, to recruit other teenage girls, preferably minors, who were white, small, vulnerable, or broken. He wanted sex and not just any sex. Anyway, so this sort of stuff by these freaks, also Denny Hastert, is very... I
mean, they're in favor of child marriage, Roy Moore, Matt Gaetz accusations. Let's be real
exactly.
here.
And this is being deployed at a time where you have all these strikes in Hollywood. And Sam was literally saying he was talking to somebody, and they literally thought that the strikes were happening because of this child trafficking stuff. I don't know what clearer example you need to be that this stuff is a psychological operation, basically to obscure like actually power dynamics, including like labor versus capital.
Yeah.
I think we just have to come to the conclusion that it's okay to exploit children if it's in favor of capitalism and also Christo-fascism. And, you know, the sooner leftists accept that, the sooner we can get on to reality.
Yeah, I mean...
There's a few things to actually mention about this. One is that, you know, a lot of conservatives are running with this story as being real when it's not. It's, you know, Hollywood uses based on a true story very liberally in terms of what based on means. A lot of things that are portrayed in this movie did not happen the way they did. Like this guy did not go physically and fight traffickers in hand-to-hand combat to rescue kids. Also, you know, in that clip, they say how like, oh, this movie revealed traffickers. I mean, no, it didn't. It's fictional. The people, those were
honestly, Binder, sorry,
actors.
Yeah, sorry to jump in, but like when I've been hearing like the biggest morons on Twitter talk about how amazing this movie is, but like they were talking about it as if it was a documentary.
Well, this has been done before. This is just like Taken, except
this is like
little kids. I mean, and all of these movies exist essentially. So like the dads that come to their daughter's prom with a shotgun can feel like they have some sort of agency in their lives. I mean, that's like essentially what this is. And Binder, I'm sorry, I cut you off a little bit earlier.
No, because there's actually two more things to mention. Because this movie is apparently killing it in the box office because it came out on 4th of July when conservatives are going to go out to the movie theaters. It beat out like one of the days it beat out like Indiana Jones' new movie, the new Indiana Jones movie, I should say. So they're like running with how successful it is. But what's going on is that this studio, it's like a Christian-based studio called Angel or whatever. They have like a program where you can pay for other people's tickets. So they're buying out, they're doing what they do to like the New York Times bestseller list when a conservative book comes out. They're buying up tickets for movie theaters and giving them away to people who want to go see the movie but don't want to pay for it. So they're giving out free tickets. And because they're purchasing the tickets, this is counting towards the box office where, you know, the people aren't exactly actually sitting in the movie theater and all because they can't give out all the free tickets. So that's one reason why this movie's doing so good. And then number two, this just broke from Vice News today. The guy that this movie is based on, Ballard or whatever, shortly before this movie came out, this is breaking today, he was kicked out of this organization. And nobody knows exactly why. He is no longer part of this anti-child trafficking organization, which he founded. And he wasn't telling anyone about it as he was doing the press tour for this movie. So it'll be interesting to know exactly why he was kicked out of this group.
I have a new conspiracy theory that the movie that they think that they're seeing here was actually made in 2017. This is actually a distraction from that. The movie that people should actually see that's on this theme of like political conspiracies to protect sex trafficking rings is called You Were Never Really Here, 2017. Have people seen that? That is one I would really recommend. If you're going to be fictional about this, but you want to actually like get some glimpse at maybe truth, I think that is probably maybe this one is as good as You Were Never Really Here. I'm not impressed by what I've seen. The Joaquin Phoenix one is awesome.
Well, I mean, when I have another conspiracy though, just to get back to like the triple conspiracy thing. Bradley, let's pull this up because I mean, Elon Musk might be a part of this. I saw that this tweet got a disinformation label, and I'm not really sure why they're trying to silence some of this people speaking out about what they're doing in this movie theater. I mean, this guy, he said he was a whistleblower. I work at AMC and just got fired for refusing to add this liquid to a customer's soda. We were instructed specifically to serve this to Sound of Freedom audiences. I am a microbiology student, and I took it to the lab to examine and found what looks like nanobots inside. And I mean, that is, and then Elon Musk's Twitter labels it as disinformation beneath it. Conservatives are saying, don't trust. I'm very concerned. It's interesting and concerning.
Disturbing.
And conservatives all the blue checks are very upset. File this under things that absolutely never happen, they say. Don't trust this, they say. But, you know, it just goes to show that even the most awake conservatives who understand what's really happening with sex trafficking in this country, that they're susceptible to big tech misinformation and censorship as well, because this AMC worker, he's just not being heard.
Also, another thing that should be noted about this movie is that it was made a number of years ago. Like, it's been sitting on the shelf. It was I'm pretty sure the story goes that Fox was the studio that picked up this movie, like 20th Century Fox. And then when Disney purchased 20th Century Fox, they didn't either know about it because it got lost in the shuffle, or they didn't care to release it. So like the guy who made the movie ended up buying it back from Disney years later, and now it's getting its release. So this movie is old as well. It's... Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think Emmett hit the nail on the head. It looks like a direct-to-DVD Taken, like a Taken sequel, like Taken 5. Or, really, if you watch as many Lifetime movies as I watch, like a Lifetime movie for dads, it's very just like...
That's what it is.
They're trafficking. I mean, Taken is the apex of that genre, Lifetime movie for dads. But yeah, this is very, on the nose.
Yeah.
The trailer was very good, though. The trailer was like, peak trailer. Even the slow rendition of America,
my country, 'tis of thee. I mean, there are a lot of trailer tropes that need to go away, including the eerie young child singing a song that we all know in a way that sounds foreboding. It's just I can't do it again. But
I like the Inception style stab of really intense music every 5 seconds.
I'm okay with it. I wasn't always. I was where you were, Emma, a few years ago about the slow rendition of random song by a child until Jordan Peele did it with a rap song in Get Out. And I was like, oh no, he made it fresh again.
Yeah, that was
but then
great,
he did it a bunch of times after that. And I was like, okay, it's not fresh anymore. But no, I think it depends on the song. I think this was great. This was the best I've heard in a while.
I mean, agree to disagree, but I guess you're just a little bit more aligned and you want to protect the children more than I do. So
I was chilled when that little Latino boy who looked like Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle showed up. I was in tears.
I mean, maybe you have to see it and review it for the discourse.
It's incredible to watch some of these right-wingers talk about it. Like they're watching Citizen Kane or I don't know. They're acting like this is the greatest motion picture to ever be released, and that's it's tugging at their heartstrings, like when Jack died during the Titanic or something like that. They're really pushing this as if it's universally beloved by everyone. It's pretty incredible. But they are the only ones seeing this movie, so they're really skewing the reviews when you look at Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. So yeah.
I think it has the power to bring together all of the QAnon chuds and the true crime suburban moms into one theater, and that's the power of this kind of film.
This guy,
we can't take that lightly.
The guy this movie's based on, he a lot of long-running, well-established anti-sex trafficking organizations have come out over the years and spoken out against his organization and him, saying that what they do harms the actual real work, much like QAnon. And this guy actually, when QAnon was first starting to get big, he jumped right in. He was happy to use QAnon to promote his own endeavors here. I mean, this guy isn't QAnon adjacent. He was pushing this type of stuff.
Hijacks the hashtag Save the Children, which is a real organization, just essentially for QAnon memes. They have no real interest in supporting organizations that actually want to combat child trafficking.
Right. Yeah. Right. It really is the sort of perfect grift, isn't it? Make a movie about sex trafficking pedophiles. Anyone who points out anything about the movie or the story it's based on and critiques it, just call them sex trafficking pedophiles or supporters of sex trafficking pedophiles. It's a perfect little scheme there, right? Because that's what you're seeing. There was a writer for Rolling Stone, Miles Klee, I believe his name is, he put out a review basically talking about all this in the Rolling Stone, and he had to leave Twitter. He was getting harassed horrifically. He's received death threats in his email, all sorts of things. I mean, because that's what you do when you want to spend every moment of your time saving the children. You waste it sending death threats to a movie critic.